hiding out at a home to guard against the sort of ash that is covering the world and contains a fatal virus that kills women. The central question of the entire movie is whether it's preferable to take the chance of dying and live or risk staying alive but leading a dull, routine, and protected existence. Let's just say that Will, Leslie Odom Jr., and Eva, Frida Pinto, choose the option that the Centers for Disease Control do not advise. The plot, in short, can be described as when a comet approaches Earth's surface. It deposits a kind of ash that coats the world in white and gray hues for several years. This ash contains a lethal virus that, strangely enough, only proves fatal to females. Will goes awry and begins to worry about his love, Eva. Will Eva survive as the number of women on the planet begins to decline? He exerts every effort to keep the virus from infecting her. But is that sufficient? The catastrophe damages their relationship while killing millions of women worldwide. Because of this, the government places a large reward on women in an effort to artificially increase the world's declining female population. Now let us look deeply at the movie. It begins with heavy ash falling, and all the females start to fall dead from the virus at once. Will and Eva, played by Leslie Odom Jr. and Frida Pinto, are sympathetic and attractive together as they struggle to survive in this horrific environment. The plot of the film begins on day 400. It jumps forward and back in time to show the pair in happier situations as the virus gradually spreads and has an impact. The non-linear narrative of Only by Takashi Dashir is incredibly outstanding. When other women start contracting the unknown virus in the hospital, Will realizes right away that he needs to help Eva because she's in danger. The pair stays in isolation for many days in an effort to protect Eva from the infection. One of the numerous ladies hiding out is Eva. As a result of Will and Eva's increasing isolation, their relationship is torn apart by intense dissatisfaction. They intend to visit some forest close to a river. They choose a less used route. But the restaurant there is rather crowded with a big-bellied cook, server, and a few scruffy-looking male patrons. The proprietor and father and son duo Jason Warner Smith and Chandler Riggs continue to question Eva's motives, who then accompanies the pair on their journey. In this 2019 film, a different perspective is shown where women are now extinct, and the father wants his stepson to enjoy some sexual activity with the last lady. Will, however, ends up killing the father-son team. Even though Eva may be the last woman on Earth, the movie has warm, moving, and genuine performances as the pair deal with the end of the world. Will does everything to keep Eva safe, so much that Will unintentionally tries to dominate Eva because of his fear of losing her. The pair is hardly in agreement with one another at this time. Flashbacks nevertheless show that they weren't always the same. Will was never a jailer, but he was always a loving boyfriend. But now that the worst virus has killed off over half of the world's female population, Will decides it's his responsibility to make sure Eva never leaves their home. Even Will's bizarre plan to keep Eva in her place is evident in their house, where the walls are covered in plastic that Will rigorously seals and disinfecting sprays, in order to prevent Eva from contracting an infection from any outside sources. He also relies on canned food. Will sacrifices all he has in order to keep Eva safe, including the seemingly little pleasures. At this point, it appears that he's doing it more for himself than for her. All of this offers Eva some time to reflect in the interim. She first takes everything Will does for her in a cool manner. She finds support in an online community of women who are going through a similar experience, even when she's frazzled by the circumstance. But as the days pass, the group's members also start to decline. Until soon, just Eva and a small handful of other women remain online. Eva gathers their images and sticks them onto her blue plastic wall, almost as a reminder to herself. Eva finally ventures outside and deliberately breaches contaminated air, as is shown in the movie's climactic moments. The couple's past and present swap back and forth over the duration of the movie. Eva is infected right now, but she is in the outer world. Unlike in the past, when she was put into quarantine, she finds it difficult to understand. The movie attempts to blur the distinction between life and death by using these two parallel timelines. Eva was safe since they were confined to the quarantined house, and for once, she did not mind. Will's excessive caution, though, was what ultimately compelled her to ignore him and go outdoors. The couple's entire philosophy of leading a limited existence has only one goal in mind: survival. On the other hand, what is really the purpose of life if they're not living freely? At one moment, Will argues that the quarantine is necessary because scientists will ultimately discover a treatment for the illness. And when that occurs, Eva will be free to go. But Eva believes that Will is clinging to a false sense of optimism. And in some ways, she's correct. Why else would the government kidnap women and utilize them just to swell the global populace? It is shown in the movie's last scenes that Will become so worried that he forbids Eva from speaking to her father. As a result, Eva loses all patience with him and runs outdoors. In addition to freeing herself, she teaches Will a crucial lesson by inhaling the infectious ashes that are still falling on the Earth's surface. Life is all about enjoying it while you can, not trying to make it endure forever. The pair may be seen living in the current timeline and finally appreciating life's little joys. Although we're aware that this would ultimately result in her death, we can see her infection in one of only scenarios. At least, she'll be able to live out her remaining days to the fullest. When the strain of Will going too far to protect his partner is removed, we see her and Will outside of their house, indicating that they were able to mend their relationship. The crucial flashback depicts Eva running outside in a hazmat suit during their major altercation, and essentially committing herself by breathing in the noxious air. On their rooftop, Will attempts to stop her, but it's too late. No woman has survived the infection. The only reason Eva is on this journey is to pass away near the waterfall, a scene that reminds her of peace, love, and freedom. The pair hugs each other by the waterfall, understanding that they're one and the same. She takes a selfie after Will kisses her and is bleeding out and losing energy, but she's also happy and relieved as she prepares to pass away. Eva knows her adored and feels like a burden to Will. Her implication of this is clear. The women have decided to take their chances with the ash, rather than spend their whole lives locked in their homes, and are dying off one by one. And with that, the movie ends,